Welcome to Revved Up Florida, where today I'm going to see if ChatGPT can help me identify what is causing the coolant leak in my 2013 Ford Mustang. So I decided to ask ChatGPT, what is the first thing that I should check in identifying a coolant leak in my car? And it actually gave me 6 steps, so not sure if you can see it, but it really gave a detailed breakdown of everything to check. So we're going to go ahead and check that out and see if it can help me identify where the leak's coming from, maybe see if we can fix it, and let's check it out. So you can see there's a little bit of where there was a leak the other day, and if I check under here now, there's definitely some leaking. Looks like it's primarily right in the middle. So let's see what step 1 says to do. Alright, so the coolant reservoir and hoses, check for cracks, splits in the plastic in the coolant overflow reservoir. Inspect the hoses connected to the radiator and engine for swelling, cracks, leaks around clamps. Tip is to squeeze the hose gently when the engine is cooled and to check for soft spots. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do that first. Alright, so as you can see, the coolant overflow reservoir is way below the line. Should be here. It's way down here. I'm just checking for any leaks or cracks around there. And I am not seeing anything. Looks pretty dry around all the clamps. Hoses look pretty good. Yep, I definitely don't see it coming through here anywhere. It's all completely dry to the touch. Alright, so next up, radiator. Look at the front and bottom of the radiator for leaks or wet spots. Check the radiator cap. A bad seal can cause pressure issues and leaks. Alright. Alright, radiator hoses look good. Pretty dry, definitely no leaking. Not feeling any cracks or seeing any spots that it would be leaking out on this one. And down here, definitely looks dry. I'm thinking it's going to be the next one, the water pump, because I am seeing some wetness down here. And I think that was probably from the water pump. So I did have a 2013 Mustang before this one. Unfortunately, Hurricane Helene flooded it. It was my baby. It was awesome. And so that one's gone, but right before it went, I had to replace the water pump. And that one was also around 75,000 miles, and this one's probably around that amount now. So I'm thinking water pump. But we're going to keep going through the steps, see if we can figure it out. Alright, so number 3, water pump. Located in the front of the engine. Look for coolant drips or crusty residue near the pulley or under the car below the water pump. A leaking water pump is common around 100,000 miles. Well, we're not quite at 100,000, but the last one, it was definitely at that. So we have the Definitely looks like some drips and crusty residue near the pulley or under the car below the water pump. Water pump, I'm not fixing myself, that's for sure. Okay, I think that's it, but we're gonna move on. Number 4 is heater core and hoses. If you're getting coolant on the passenger floor, suspect the heater core, check the hoses going to the firewall for leaks. Okay, I definitely don't have any leakage inside of the passenger floor, thank goodness. Had that with the last Mustang. It was water coming through one of the top vents here. There's holes underneath and it went right into the cabin filter. Luckily this one so far does not have that issue. Alright, so thermostat housing. They're plastic or aluminum housings can crack or leak at the gasket. Alright, so thermostat housing here. I'm not seeing any wet spots, any leaks. All the connections are pretty dry. Not seeing anything that would show signs of leaking around it. What? Actually, uh-oh. I do feel something right there. It is a little darker color, so that could be where it's coming out. Or it's just greasy. I mean, it's not wet enough to really look like it's leaking. It just seems kind of greasy. Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like enough to be where it's coming from. Alright, so next we have the head gasket. It's less common. Serious. Look for white smoke from exhaust, milky oil, overheating, and bubbling in the coolant reservoir. I definitely don't think that's the issue. We did overheat once, but the coolant was almost completely empty due to the leak, obviously. So next step, ChatGPT says if that I wanted some help, that I can send pictures or video to help diagnose the problem. So I'm thinking water pump. I'm gonna send it some pictures of the little bit of where the residue looks like it's at the bottom, where it's definitely wet at the very bottom of the engine there, and see if it can identify what the problem is for me. Alright, let's see if I can even get a good picture. And of course now the sun's not even shining, so you can barely see it. Okay, don't drop the phone. Don't drop the phone. Alright, I don't know if it's a good picture, but I'll just let it know. Looks like here is where the leak is. Not sure if that really counts. I don't see where the leak is coming out, but I can see where it's like definitely gathering. The wet darkened, okay. So it says, thanks for the photo, Heather. Based on what I can see in the image, the wet darkened area near the pulley and the hose suggests a coolant residue. The hose in the foreground appears to have discoloration, which could be from old leaks or steam. The leak looks like it might be coming from the water pump. That's what I thought. Or the thermostat housing area. Alright, so most likely causes in the spot. Water pump leak, very common in older Mustangs. Look closely at the weep hole on the underside of the water pump. If it's wet, crusty there, the seal inside the pump is failing. Also check for a slow drip when the engine is warm. If it's a thermostat or housing gasket, follow the upper radiator hose to where it meets the engine. This connection usually includes a plastic or metal housing that can crack or warp, causing a leak. Coolant hose clamp. If the hose is bulging or the clamp is loose, corroded, it could be seeping under pressure. Dry everything off, then squeeze the hose when the engine is cold and check for seepage. I'm thinking water pump. That's where I'm going to. So what I can do, it says, is wipe the area clean, then run the engine and motor closely to pinpoint the leak. Use a coolant pressure tester available at auto parts stores or tool rental programs to identify where it's escaping without needing to wait for it to heat up. Check your coolant level and top it off when necessary, but only after the engine cools. Okay. I'm thinking water pump. All right. So I think it's safe to say I think ChatGPT helped me solve the problem, or at least identify the problem. I'm going to go ahead and start it up, see if we can visually see it leaking, why it's going, just to really lock in that we think it's the water pump. And if it is, I'm not fixing that. Unfortunately, I think it cost me about $700. If you can see it dripping anywhere. Definitely see where it's shiny and wet down there. So I think right under the water pump is where it's coming out. There is a darker area up there, so there's a small chance it could be the thermostat housing, but I don't think there's enough moisture coming out of there to be the coolant leak. So I'm thinking water pump. So I would definitely say ChatGPT was helpful in identifying the issue. I even uploaded pictures. If I didn't know where something was located, it would show me a diagram of exact location of that engine part. So I think it was extremely helpful. It was almost like having a mechanic right there by your side telling you what to check next. So I think we're at a stopping point now, as I'm not going to be the one to replace the water pump. So we'll go ahead and take it to a mechanic who can do it the proper way. So yeah, if you have any issues, ChatGPT. I think it'll get you step by step to figure out the problem. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. It's not a ton, but it is enough that until I can get it to a mechanic, looks like we're gonna be keeping this with us to make sure that I don't overheat. So hopefully get it resolved soon.